Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever. This is a little different. This is a replay review of Platinumizer. Gonna try help him improve, give him a bit of training, give some tips, and hopefully tips that are general enough for other people to pick up on and use in their own games. But mostly we're gonna try help him. So we're looking at one of his replays against WtfNoob. About 100 points lower rated than WtfNoob. So a bit of a nice potential point gain here. One way to look at it. And Platinumizer has the Seraphim against Cybran. So some nice Zooey use could help him a lot. Can raid around the edges of the map with them. So let's see the opening build order. Platinumizer builds a factory, walks to build 4 mexes. And now he's idle with the ACU. This engineer's been walking around in circles. So we have a weak start, honestly. I don't know what this engineer is doing. We're just sort of walking back and forth. So he's going to be slow to the trees and the mexes. The ACU is still idle. So that's a pretty simple mistake to fix. And then he's going to go for some power and an air factory. Second engineer is expanding this way. Now one thing I would say actually when you're expanding here is just a detail, but go out into the water and then move down so that you can't get raided by a lab or some tank here. Just a detail, but I would advise that. Can help that one scenario where you get raided when you should be in the water. And he's gonna go up here. We got some manual reclaim, some mexes, and a PD. So after the 3 P-gens, he's gonna make the air factory. Now maybe I would probably build a P-gen beforehand, before the hydro. That's just personal preference, really. We have a tank defending the front here. You often see labs coming to the front. I would encourage using the Selene, getting that cloak and radar somewhere, cloak and stealth somewhere down here maybe. Well, or up the top. ACU is likely going to the top, but if you can get down here, or even just plant in the middle, you can get a lot of intel for the whole game if you use that feature. There's just a toggle button down here when you're actually playing. You press that, move somewhere, and then forget about that thing for a while. ACU now on the move, and I think that's a mistake, honestly. We have 380 mass in the bank, so you don't want to be... Oh, he's just moving over here to build a naval factory, so he isn't expanding. He is going to go build another factory. Now the bomber comes out, and there's already an interceptor overhead, so not ideal. Maybe you should assist the bomber, try to get it out a bit faster, try to get the air factory finished faster. Maybe use 2 engineers with the ACU at the start. But that bomber was just too slow, and WtfNoob was well on top of it. And actually now, looking at WtfNoob base, we can see 2 land factories, a third one complete, and an air factory. And back in Platinumizer's base, we have a single land factory, second one almost finished, and now big power problems. So the build order, not ideal. We needed more, probably more assistance from the ACU with those first P-gens to get them a bit faster, and also another engineer added a bit quicker as well, because now we're trying to catch up on power while also building power expensive factories. You can see they're draining 35, these guys are draining 30 each. That's a lot of power. So not ideal, not not a very good build order. Definitely could be. Well, yeah, it's just not ideal. Could be improved greatly. Just need to be earlier with more build power on the P-gens, and then you can spend your mass. So we're trying to do a bit of raiding. Air flying around. So there's no tanks at the bottom, no vision at the bottom, no tanks in the middle. And WtfNoob is also just hanging around. He could be raiding right now. So I think this unit use, well, you really don't have any units to use. So it's not too important at this stage, but having all your tanks separated in like one in each location is not really ideal. You can't do any damage with, can't do nearly as much damage with a single tank. You can see WtfNoob had 4 tanks here. If he just runs anywhere to any position you have, he's going to win and get a raid. Basically, he can run over either of these 2 tanks, even if they're together. Are getting a PD here. That's going to help defend those mexes for a while. The AC is moving to the south. We have a frigate out. I would probably move the frigate this way. Just, I think you probably get to the base faster. And now we have the economy here. We have 900 mass in the bank. We still need more build power building stuff. That's a good amount of engineers building power, but we need the ACU building. We need more engineers on the map, across the map, so we can get some radar. We have a nice radar here. We have a PD. I wouldn't advise building a PD here because these mexes can be killed by arties from the bottom. And look, here's an arty looking for some shit to kill, but he hasn't scouted the mexes, so he can't kill them. Oh, there goes a shot. So you can see the arties can kill stuff up here. No point in wasting 250 mass on a PD. Now the frigates are fighting each other. We still only have 1 naval factory. And yeah, overall, mostly, like, if you could spend your mass faster, which is generally, I think it's often why people can jump from, you know, a lower rating and then they sort of get the hang of something and they can really jump up 300 or 400 points. It's because that thing you're getting the hang of is just economy management, spending all your mass as you get it and getting that mass as fast as possible. So here you're not expanding that quickly. You can see WtfNoob has expanded faster to his main expansion. Now you have expanded a little bit. You haven't grabbed any of this reclaim here. You can see this, you have to zoom in quite far to see this, but there is reclaim here that you should be grabbing. And so you could be grabbing your mass faster, and also your factories are a little slow. So now you're moving to T2 pretty quick. You've also forgotten to unpause the air factory, which is a mistake everyone's made. I've certainly made it a few times in my last games even. So it can happen. Actually, here's a thing. Leaving some arties up on this cliff can be really annoying. Can do a lot of damage. You really need to make some more T1 radars to give yourself some vision. So you just don't have good enough radar coverage. All these Zuis are actually gonna probably die. But this is a big, decent reclaim field now towards your side. I think you have too many Zuis here for sure. You need a lot more tanks than this rather than Zuis, and now we have a big mass stall. So let's see what's happening with that. Oop, messed up the minimap. Well, I don't see any economy, which is fair enough. This is not really a map where you want to be making a lot of T2 mexes generally. You want to just be making sure you're getting as many of your T1 mexes as you can. But now we had a bit of a mass problem there. T2 land is complete. We still are stalling a bit, and we have a lot of overflow. So you got to be adding. Just take some NGs here, put them on the air factory. Get your transport for the top side 6 mexes here, that's a lot of mass. And you really need to secure this. Send the ACU over there. You also have room to make an ACU upgrade. So another option for the Seraphim is to use that powerful ACU. You can make T2 followed by gun. You could just make gun, put a lot of pressure here, make sure he can't send all of his units to the top and the middle by putting pressure here, and then you can hide in the water if needs be. You should be making some arties out of this factory, take out the PD, raid the mexes, take control of that with the ACU. And yeah, this can't be allowed. You're not really taking your half of the map, and WtfNoob isn't having trouble taking his half. And certainly, yeah, there's just too many Zoos here. Now, if you micro them a lot and you keep retreating, you can save a lot of them. They can do a lot of damage, pay for themselves. But just like this, where you have this many Zoos, yeah, they're just getting wrecked by Mantis, and they're quite expensive. You know, they're at the same mass cost as a Mantis, so not cheap on like the other T1 arties. And now we actually have a massive raid from WtfNoob. Just taking advantage of, well, one, no radar to see this. This is the only radar you have. You should have radar. I always have radar rings turned on. I don't have all of them turned on, as you can see, unless I select the units. But I always have radar coverage on because it's very important to know what you can see and where you're vulnerable, where you could get ambushed. And this is a massive loss. This entire expansion is dead, and the ACU is retreating to the water, because you did see a lot of units here, but still you don't know exactly what the army looks like, and you have no radar to let your Ilshis use their full range. And this is not very good for you at all. So I think at this point you're under big pressure right now. Now you can see a lot of T1 naval factories going up here. Actually, this one being reclaimed for some reason, because you needed mass, but then you're building one over here, so that's a bit of an error. And actually that looks like a gun commander from WtfNoob, so that's a big problem to deal with. So you have to react now. First, well, you need to take your mass back, take your mexes, take all of this reclaim, and you have to get this expansion back ASAP. Now your ACU could build a torp defense here, that would be decent. You also need to mix some Selines into your army so you have some radar coverage. And here, don't give move orders into PD. So you gotta do some micro, select the arties, kill the PD, then afterwards move in, because you can't afford to be wasteful here. Can't afford to be wasteful right now. And I think a lot of your units have been sent in to places where they really have no business being. Now you're going to get sandwiched, and more Ilshi's going to get wasted. So what you do have superior units. You have the Ilshivo versus Mantis, and probably there'd be T2 land at some point. There's a Rhino. But you have the superior units, but you really need to make sure you can gather them into a significant enough group that they can't be stopped. So when you're using them with 2 or 3 Ilshis, and you don't have radar coverage, and they get surrounded by 10 or 15 Mantis, that is very, very wasteful, and it's going to hurt your game. And now, well, we have a lot of Zui's T1 moving in after this commander, but WtfNoob has the gun, and the Ilshis are targeting all the other units, targeting Zui's, or not Zui's, Medusa. And now we have a big, well, we have a lot of idle, well, we have one idle factory, and WtfNoob is still not taking shots. The units are taking all the fire, so you have to target fire the ACU if you want to actually do damage to it. And this is a lot of mass being left and a lot of mass being wasted as well. because this idle factory. We have no support factories, so you got to move to support factories. You can see because you got back your expansion, you got a bit of mass, you got some reclaim, and now you just still have 2,000 mass in the bank. So once again, if you can spend your mass, you're in, well, you're already gonna just gain 200 points of rating basically if you keep your mass bar close enough to 0, and that's without much strategic decision making, honestly. So it looks quite bad now. We have a full mass bar, we have a lot of units after being wasted, tech units dying to T1, tech units dying to a gun commander here, and not much reclaim for you, not many engineers out there reclaiming like this location, and still lack of radar, so we don't know what's happening. We're not taking reclaim, we're not spending our mass, so this looks like it is quite lost, I would say, right now. WtfNoob should win this game. The sides haven't been taken, but that's pretty common, honestly. Oh, that's a TML. And that is really bad. There's no TMD at all. No T2 engineer either. So this TML could be devastating. The HQ could go down. Haven't, I think, what Platinumizer hasn't spotted this yet. You can see even with all this trouble, he still has like an okay army, 8 Ilshavo, 30 Zuis. This again is a waste. I mean, there's no point in having the army split here and fighting with no radar. It's just not too good. Build a T1 radar. Build a T1 radar. Come on. Yeah. I'm not sure why this happens, that people don't build T2 radar or T1 radar, but it's one of the worst mistakes you can make. Vision is not reliable at all, and we also don't have land scouts in the army. So let's just take a quick look at WtfNoob. Let's see what he sees in comparison. You can see he has vision over the entire map. We have TML at the back that can take out a lot of targets. He actually has TML supported by TMD. He has a gun commander. Should have stealth, of course, but you know, he has 2 nice radars giving him coverage of almost the entire field of play. And he's also moved to T2 and making rhinos. So you can see it's just more dominant vision. Like he can see whatever is happening. He's attacking different areas, trying to use this tech unit. He's trying to use the TML to his advantage, using his commander. Platinumizer, unfortunately, you aren't using your commander here, so that's a free bonus for WtfNoob, that he gets to use the gun commander versus just units, and you're not able to achieve anything on the bottom. You also didn't save this expansion with the ACU. And you could make T2 and make T2PD, and that would be fine. That would hold off WtfNoob. He couldn't do easy raids. You know, you could do that, and then you could go back to your base. You need to fight like with like in subcom more often than not, and this is a gun commander, and he just loves to fight and overcharge Ilshavo. They're so expensive, and they have nice range, and they're better than the Cybern T2 and T1. So he's going to use his commander versus them. And yeah, also just spending your mass, being aware of your mass bar. Be aware of when you re-expand and take reclaim, because then you're going to have more mass. Then you should also, while you're taking the mexes back and sending engineers to reclaim, you should also be, you know, adding a support factory at that point. Start upgrading a support factory then, so you're going to have more mass shortly. You know, things like that. Just be aware of the eco management. If you spend your mass and build decent units, you already know what units are decent, obviously. Look at all these Ilshis. If you just put all your mass into them, you can do very well. And yes, T1 radars. Gotta be you got to be defending this. You can't let Mantis just run in behind and you can't even see them. Or your Ilshavo not being able to use their range because they have no radar coverage helping them. It's just a very simple mistake that you should fix. So hopefully that helps other people around this rating and even lower. And hope you learned something from this cast. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll probably do more of these. People can send me replays to review if they want. As long as you lose, don't need to see wins because it generally help you less. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you on the next one.